Hi guys, how are you doing, my YouTube family? The warm welcoming that I got yesterday after posting a video for the first time in months was tremendous. You don't know how much I felt appreciated, loved, and welcomed within this community, within this space that YouTube gives me to be able to welcome you to my cabon. But my coming back and making that post yesterday, you all made me feel as if no, this is not just my cabon. This is our cabon. This is your cabon, because you came and you welcomed me back to YouTube, making me feel like I have family here in this space. And I thank you. I thank you. And while I'm thanking my wonderful family, I must say the topics that I talk here about here are a real social problem that is within the community. And I find it within my community and the Haitian community, and a lot of others who have roots in Africa also find it within their communities, and they come and they support. Now, some people think that I am like, why am I attacking that family or whatnot? I'm not attacking any family. I'm just sitting here all the way on the other side of the continent, critiquing the videos, because that gives me my ability to speak of the problem that is here in the Black community, in the Haitian community. But anyway, I thank you guys who come here all the time. So many people I have to thank. My keyboard reactors. You guys are, what a welcome. Remy, what a welcome you gave me. Thank you so much. My sister Remy, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You help me against those that don't understand the struggle here, and you went ahead and you were reading and answering, and my keyboard warriors, thank you. I was so pleased. Even like the queen of reaction, Modesta Lifestyle, visited me. That was just like sweet surprise. I am just like overwhelmed with gratitude for the family that I have found here in this space. And meanwhile, while I'm here, guys, talking to my family about situations in my Haitian community, I must make a few things clear. I am sorry to say for some of those who are watching, but if you are a child, you're somebody's kid, you're not welcome here. When I post my videos, I say, not for kids. This is not for kids. So kids are not allowed here. This is my time to have my freedom of speech, my freedom of expression, and my freedom to have my own family. You may not understand. It's okay, because this is for adult situation. I remember when I was a child and my mother was talking to her friends or even to her relatives who were of her generation. Okay, I was always nosy, trying to get into old people's business. My mother always say, "Get out of here. You're not welcome here." And this is what I'm saying to any kid who is out there. Kids are not welcomed here. All right. My YouTube channel is for a struggle. A lot of people think my YouTube channel is for money. Okay, I'm not gonna say that YouTube did not pay me $100 last year. Okay, so if you want to know how much I got paid last year, all right, that came up on my taxes because I had to pay tax on it. I got $116, okay, last year. Okay, so I'm not doing YouTube because of money. As you can see, I took a while because I wasn't feeling like fighting through YouTube, not posting, okay? So I earned $116 last year. Now, if you consider the gas that I spent to go to the events, and the money that I spent, not only to go to the events, to have, to have my equipment. Yes, it's true. I didn't buy new equipment because it costs over $1,000. So if you consider $1,000 of equipment versus $100, obviously I'm not doing YouTube for money. I don't want kids here. Okay, so that said, if you're a parent watching, I'm letting you know that your kids are not welcomed here. This is my struggle, Claudine Etienne, against colorism within my community, my life, and my freedom. Okay, Title 18. So you need to respect my Title 18 and not allow your kids in my channel. So that's all I have to say. So no further ado, let us continue my welcoming. So I had a few people who were against what I had to say, and of course they used the family. Guys, this is about family because hundreds and thousands of years ago, we were disrupted from our families. And for hundreds of years, we were not even allowed to have family. We were being bred like animals. So we may have even forgotten the concept of what family is. So when you tell me to get out of a family that is supposed to be a role model for me, who have been removed from my state of family, I have a problem with that because that family is black like me. I don't know if I'm even from that country because it seems like there seems to be a lot of relations. Even back in college, I had my roommate, before we became roommate, identified me as her long lost cousin. Who knows? I probably was her long lost cousin. So if I find this family as interesting, that is my business, so that I can talk about it, so that I can have my own family that I was removed from hundreds of years ago. And I have somehow found my family here, even with the welcome and the warm welcomes that I got yesterday. That shows family. So thank you again. And Remy, so we had this person who came and said, I'm going to go over some of the reactions because, well, before I even go over the reactions, guys, okay, this is not a gossip channel either. This is a reaction channel, okay? So all of a sudden, IamMarwa is a pastor? I mean, everywhere they go, let us pray. He's now a father of a mulatto kid. So now suddenly he is a pastor. And this reminds me of a lot of things that I've encountered within the Haitian community. I remember this one guy. In fact, I think things are not going very well for him right now. All right, all right, let me tell you this story. Because he was expressing colorism. Maybe he is colorist. There were a group of them because I was studying them after a few events that were happening to me when there was an attempt to subordinate me because of my color towards Dominican women. So I started studying a whole bunch of men, who were like within the same sect. So this man was in the Dominican Republic studying medicine with a whole bunch of the others who were really putting down Haitians. And they're all Haitians, by the way, so I'm not going into anybody's territory. This is my territory. They were Haitians. And I experienced the put down because I was sitting in my own house minding my own business. But then they had a problem, I guess, with whatever name that I had or potential that I had. So they had to make sure that I knew about them. So they approach you very nicely, sort of the same way that one of my keyboard reactors, not the one that's for me, but one of the ones that is against me, came and approached very nicely. And then it got really heated up. But then my beautiful family came, and when I was busy working or whatever, they were responding to this person. And that allowed this person to calm down, so that by the time I got to them, they calmed down. All right, they calmed down because they got really heated up after coming supposedly as a lamb. They became like a lion, and then they had to calm down again. But this is the situations that we are living in when it comes not just to colorism, but to the whole trials and tribulations of the Black race. And if you have an issue with my talking about the Black race, the problems in the Black race, the malady in the Black race, maybe this is not for you. It's okay. When I do my Haitian songs, there are only 20 people watching, and I still do them. It's okay because I need an avenue to speak them. So anyways, let's go back to the Haitian guy who was studying in the Dominican Republic medicine. And one of the things about studying medicine is that you need to realize how a lot of Haitians within the sub-community, because the other day I was talking about the sub-community, that's the communities that the government cannot really protect you from, all right? Like if there's a problem in your household, unless they do something like really horrible to you, it's like there's nothing. I mean, you can't say, oh, it's emotional abuse. How are you going to prove emotional abuse? Or even that, who wants to do that to their family? You don't want to go and say, oh, my family is emotionally abusing me. No, you want to try to solve the problem. I know sometimes we can't solve the problem and we become grown adults still trying to solve the problem. So anyway, this guy was studying in the Dominican Republic medicine. And the problem with Haitian people is that once a person has a title such as a doctor, is that the whole rest of the sub community has to be like zombies before them. Like, you know, they're supposed to be like gods. So if they have problems, like if they're colorists, so you're gonna be stuck subordinate within that system. You're going to be like a slave. And this is what's going on with IamMarwa, because apparently a lot of people are looking up to him, including his sister Dimongo, because remember, Dimongo keeps reminding us that it is the brother that made her. So the fact that she is not married yet at this age, when she feels like this is the age she should have already been married and started having kids, okay, shows you the impact, okay, that the brother may now have on her, even more so, okay, because she may be because I mean they may be telling you, oh, you're not XYZ because of this and that, so she will be more likely to follow them. And I remember back when actually those Dominican Haitian people, if you want to call them that, okay, came to let me know about their existence when I didn't even know those people existed. It was because I always knew, like, when my mother was on the wrong path and I never followed her path, all right, and that made me strong. I don't know if any of you guys know this, that I'm strong, but I had taken a great fall because when these people came, they were using that kind of, oh, you're XYZ because you don't, like, you're stubborn, you're hard-headed, you're this and that, right? So I was like, okay, maybe, like, because I was having a lot of like bad luck in life. So I was like, well, maybe it's because I'm cussed. So let me follow what my mother says. So I just followed I purposely followed the rules, so that, and through following the rules, I came to understand those colorist people, because I was going to be far away from those colorist people, never even know them if I went ahead and followed my rules. But no, I said, you know what, let me follow my mother's rule and let's see. And of course, now I was on the route of trying to prove her wrong. But then my mother got senile. It's like, you know, she doesn't remember anything. You know, and then those people, those colorists, they continue. Now they have the power, you know, they have their title, so that makes you subordinate before them. So whatever they say is like law, principle. So it's like there's no way that you can come and rise. You have nothing. So now the other thing is, if they isolate you from society, it even becomes harder, because now you don't have anybody to talk to reason with. And they don't care about your education, your logic. And even if you don't have education, you know, everybody is entitled to logic. Because just because you didn't go to XYZ school, study XYZ class, does not mean that you don't have logic of what's good for you or what's bad for you. Okay? But that community, all right, where the law can't touch, where constitutions and human rights and things like that can touch, they push you down. So it's either you follow them or you are excluded. And if you're excluded, like, let's say you're somebody who really like your culture, you want to keep your honor or whatnot, you are now subject to whatever they make of you. Okay, so this guy, speaking of which, so going back to this guy is a friend of the person who came to let me know that he existed. Okay, and when this person decided that they, I guess, what is it, excommunicate me from the community, I guess, if you want to say it. So since this person had that power, I had to find ways through social media to find out what they were doing, because what they were doing initially to me was they were negating my logic. And I'm a person with absolute good logic, but they were negating my logic. Like if I say X, they say no, it's not X, it's Y. And whatever they say has to be obsolete, even though X is very blatantly clear. I couldn't prove it to anybody because I wasn't even allowed to speak. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Okay, they had to listen to them because they are male and they had titles. So through YouTube, not YouTube, through Facebook, I was able to find out about these people, about the lies that they were presenting, and the racist life that they were living in the Dominican Republic, completely against black women, against Haitian women. And and then I had to, of course, expose it, because that was my way of showing I was right to myself, because nobody cared after all, because they already had made up their mind. So it's like a society can decide, so it's up to you to decide, but then it's up to us to fight so that we can survive. You see what I'm saying? So for those who want to listen and say, okay, you know what, I absolutely am gonna worship Myra. That's up to you. It's okay. I mean, I don't have anything with it, with you worshiping Myra. What I have a thing with is the destruction of black women. Okay? So possible destruction of D, or of her future, of her children, so suppose, or even of Winnie, who has little black girls. And it makes no sense to me, for example, that D Mongo is making all this ado to do. I get it. You could say this is my first nephew. Okay. But this is not your first time being an auntie. You were an auntie 3 times by Winnie, and you never made such a big ado with the kids. It's like, put little blacks aside, and now you're gonna put up the mulatto. And this is what has been happening for centuries. This is not something new. Okay, what we're seeing with IamMarwa is not new. So then, if IamMarwa's wife is racist, okay, so that's even gonna put her more of on a pedestal to diminish us black women, okay, and then the child becomes like king, and this is what's happening in Haiti. Even as we speak right now, Haiti's leadership is becoming more and more white, okay, as the mulattoes sneakily take over under this so-called nine people regime. Okay, they already fired the first guy that came after Ariel Henry, by Cornell. They fired him like underneath our noses, and now it's like a mulatto. For me to go to Haiti, I will be paying homage to the mulattoes. Either I go to the Dominican Republic and pay homage to what the system that they used to belittle me after all of my efforts and education here, or I fly on an airplane that the mulattoes own and therefore have complete power. So basically, even my traveling to my own country is like that. So my reality is real. And some people don't understand that slavery exists. I was told by a French guy, a white French guy, back in eons ago in college, my first year of college, that, oh, Haiti's the first free country. And that was my biggest shocker, because I never knew that I was born free. I knew I was born in slavery by color. So it's interesting when a child knows these things, because kids are smart, you know? So when I was a kid, I mean, even though I was treated right, but there was something underneath within the culture that made you know that you were gonna be treated, or was sneakily under the cover, whatever, being treated as a slave. Okay, and there's nothing you can do about it. One of my biggest fear was to actually be in the state where I had to be called back and forth, but I was in the state of being called back and forth. And this is what the same thing that happened. I don't know if you guys remember how IamMarwa used to call Ivan as if that's his little slave when he was in Ivan's house. And Ivan was like pretty okay with it, until of course Ivan had his own ways to deal with the situation. But nonetheless, these are the little ways that seem to be normal. Either it's your own family, your own friends, or whatever, because they feel superior, because maybe they have the white wife, they have acquired everything. So let's go back to this Haitian guy. So this Haitian guy got his degree, and therefore he started, but he had problems because he's a dark skinned Haitian guy. So apparently the Dominican women didn't welcome him as much as they welcomed the other Haitians. Okay, so despite his crush on them, he didn't get any of them. So he ended up going back to Haiti. And I guess in Haiti, he must have been feeling a lot of pain from maybe his own repressing the discrimination that he may have encountered in the Dominican Republic, because now he probably had a sense of, or an air of superiority over the Haitians back in Haiti, because he had a title and he had studied in the Dominican Republic. By the way, the Haitian system for medicine is way better than that of the Dominican Republic, as proven by the U.S., because the U.S. actually gives more medical doctorate and opportunities for internship to Haitians with medical degrees from Haiti rather than those people who are coming from the Dominican Republic. But these people, they are going to where the skin is lighter to make them look better than us. And of course, with the sneaky political problems, because the people who are coming in here and making it look as if everything is fine and dandy don't even realize even Taore Fossil, the guy in Burundi Fossil Burkudi. I don't have my internet right now, but that country in Africa where that young 37-year-old guy is preaching against, it's so easy. You have to realize that they've done it before. They can do it again. They can go there. They can go and just fine. Like I heard Trump saying that, oh, he's only a child. He's only a boy. And of course that would irritate African Americans because that's a word that used to be that they used to use for us in time of slavery. But nonetheless, I could understand he's referring to age. Okay, by the way, anyway, forget about the ageism rather. Let's stick with it. So he's referring to a saying he's only a boy, so that he can do anything with him. So that tells you, for all we know, Trump might get with some fellow and say, hey, what is it that we can do to like deter him? So they're gonna find, whatever psychological mechanism, whatever it is that they need, okay, they will find in order to deter him, be it a white woman or a mixed woman, whatever it is, they're gonna find his soft point. And without him even knowing it, they're gonna go as friends to offer him that soft point. And that's what's happening. That's what had happened with IamMarwa. The fact that he likes white women, okay, a group found his soft point because they realized the power that he had within the black community to shut us up. It's that simple. We're gonna shut up those black women who have actually discovered that they are not free through this colorist dude, IamMarwa, and we're gonna give him a family, because by giving him a family, then we can call them immoral, we can call them parasites, we can call them ruining people's family. This is what they do. They make us look as if we're ruining their families while they have ruined us. So then they make us look jealous when we are fighting for what they took away from us in the first place. So they're gonna offer. So I'm sure that they're gonna try to offer this dude Taore something, okay, in order to get him to soften, and in order for them to get their way with the name of the country, Burkina Faso. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for my lack of geography. So they're gonna find their way in. And as this young man had said, okay, if they don't find their way, they find somebody who is willing to, they're gonna find a traitor, they're gonna give, they reward them. Like IamMarwa, reward them with money, reward them with subscribers, get him to the million that he wants. Maybe there's a reason why he's limited, that he's not there at the million or whatnot. Of course, his own downfall, but nonetheless, reward them, because this is what happened, not centuries, thousands, millennia ago. Okay, now we can say it's millennia ago. This is what has happened, because it started with the Moors, because apparently the Moors, like Europe, they loved the South. They mixed, and they were doing well. So they already knew how we thought, they knew how to buy us out, and they bought out IamMarwa. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that we can't still fight. So we will fight, and we know their schemes, we know their codes, okay? So the whole family code is not gonna get me and gonna shut me up, because the reality is IamMarwa is an example of what many Haitians are, okay? So so this man, he came to Haiti and he got his power, and now he because he actually got political position because of his title. Back to the Haitian guy from the Dominican Republic. All right. But he was struggling, and he kept on writing about it. And this is how I discovered him. I was like, oh my God, this guy is in the same situation as me, because they left me in a situation where I had no choice but to just find my my how would I say it, my community outside of my immediate surrounding. I didn't have anybody in my immediate surrounding. And I heard his cry through his writings. So he was writing online. He created an open diary, and I had done so like around the same time that he had done so. And I said, wow, you know what? This guy is in the same shoe, because the same things that they had done to me, I he was experiencing. So I didn't, I mean, he wouldn't understand. He obviously, he made it very clear, very at first, that he would never understand my situation, right? And that he didn't even acknowledge himself as in the same shoe. But I just kept on following this guy. And then what I discovered he did, because at one point I thought he was gonna go black, because I realized that he couldn't go Dominican to go mix. So where was he gonna go? At one point I thought, well, after all his struggles, he's gonna go black. But no, the first chance he got, he took a mulatto girl. And the worst part about it, I guess, he didn't take somebody his age, because this guy was of my generation. He did not take somebody his age. He took like an 18-year-old, 18 or 20-year-old, on her, I think on her 18th birthday. Okay, I was like, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. But anyway, I let it go. But then what he did was, okay, so he got the woman. So I was saying things that can be offered. You're being offered something to help you get out of your misery, so you think, but it is so that you will no longer be a voice for those who are being oppressed and enslaved. Okay? So, I mean, we all can fall prey. This is why this guy from Burkina Faso, we have to pray for him, because he can fall prey. And the worst part, as I said, like, if they can't get to you, they assassinated us. Guys, it's a dangerous world for us who are fighting for this thing that we call freedom. So anyway, so this guy was given what he wanted. He was given a mulatto girl. And a young girl, I mean, just entered her prime, right? And apparently, in Haitian system, the light skin, the red bones, or whatever they call it, Haitians call them grimel. I say Haitians because I didn't grow up in Haiti to give them that. If I was a grimel, maybe I would have thought differently, right? But because of what they do, so I say Haitians. So they call them grimel, okay? And they, because of their color, they are taught, like, socially, either verbally. I mean, I literally saw a dark-skinned woman who's raising like 20 kids in Haiti tell a girl who is coming of age, which is in her little community of kids, that, oh, you're light skin, you're grimel, so you're gonna get married without any problem. And she was explaining to her, I mean, like, as if it's a matter of fact. I mean, this woman is a smart woman, the one who was telling the younger girl that. So I am assuming that, she probably was feeling the discrimination herself, but of course she was lauding the girl, because this girl was like her, among all the kids that she's raising, she's like her next to aunt, next, because they're not that far of a difference in age. She's like 25, the girl was like 18 or something, right? So nonetheless, so Haitians are taught, if you are a grimel, that you are better than the others. All right. And this is why when Jovenel Moise died, his daughter at the funeral, okay, she was wearing her hair, and somebody came and told me, oh, young women can wear wigs and everything, because I was talking about Weenie and Weenie's beauty shop with fake hair, right? And I'm like, first of all, it's not only young women who is wearing wigs and extensions and things like that. Women of all, black women of all ages, and she was saying that, and all women. But nonetheless, we already know the reality. Those of us who have experienced it, black women like me with hair like mine, here it is. Oh, it's starting to gray. All right. So with hair like mine, so let me put it back on. All right. As not to offend my neighbors. Today I'm not going to offend my neighbors. Other times I will offend you with my hair. But nonetheless, we of all ages we wear wigs and fake hair and the extensions. So I don't know what you're talking about when you tell me it's something for young women. All right. You know why they say these things, why you come to say these things, because you know that I have done all my life of experiencing your hate for my hair. Okay. And well, stand up to you. So now you're referring to young women. So what is this, like ageism? We talk about colorism, racism, sexism, ageism. Okay. All women wear extensions. So why this is like a coward. They don't want to say that, okay? Because they know I'll come against them. So then they say it's for young women, like excluding me. I am a woman, so I can speak about the fake hair, because whether even I may be graying today, but yesterday I was a young woman. And as a young woman, I was approached many times about my hair. Usually starts out very subtly. Oh, just put on a little texturizer. One year, that was like, I don't remember. One year was like, just put on a little texturizer. And after you put on the texturizer, they want something else. And after that, they want something else. It's like they're never satisfied with our hair. Never satisfied. All right? It's hate that they have for our hair. And no, they don't have to. And I'm telling them, they don't have to wear fake. Okay? And I don't care if you find it a problem, that I find it a problem that we are being forced to wear fake hair and not to wear our own hair. Okay? And it's not just young women, it's women of all, and we all had experienced it in our youth. All right? So I'm not speaking here like an idiot. I am speaking from experience. Okay? So let the young women be proud of their hair as they are born with, self-love and not self-hate. So anyway, let's go back to the Haitian guy. So this guy, now he's married with a lady. So what does he do? He starts throwing rocks. What is it? Subliminal messages. Okay, to all the Black Haitian women in the world, because he's got himself this light-skinned girl as a wife. Okay, so now this empowered him. Okay, what he couldn't do before, if he had his Dominican women, it could have been even worse. But the Dominicans didn't like that one. They had the other ones. Okay. So he starts calling us malpop meaning like dirty and unclean. How clean, like, what they mean by dirty and unclean. It's like our skin is dirty and unclean. It's the light skin that is clean. Okay, it's like you could take all the showers in the world, they will call you dirty. You take enough showers and you become like ashy. And then they call you dirty. And then they tell you to bleach your skin and all that. Guys, I talked not too long ago about the girls bleaching their skin, but it's the social pressure we also have to talk about. We need to talk about the social, and they always come nice as if they're taking up for you. Oh, as if it's normal. Oh, I must be unclean and dirty. And the Haitians will say that, mal propre, they will say, for me to be telling the young women, like they say, the young women, okay, that, they need to be mal propre like me with their hair. And then they will say that our hair is not washed. My hair is washed. And we all know that Black women often wash their hair once a week, okay? But then they make fun of that. I mean, it is horrible. All right, so it is okay to wear our hair natural. So this guy went on and on Facebook. The same guy who was crying of all the issues that he was having. Now he had a grimel. He went on and on every day, posting about how malpropre our people were, how this we were, how that we were. And then it got to the point, 1 year within marriage, he started posting about how ugly we were. And the worst part is every time I posted my picture, like, be it for work or whatever, he would start sending subliminal messages about us being ugly. Okay, so I think he has marital problems now. So he wrote this, and I said, no kids are allowed here. This is not for kids. Okay, so he wrote this, and he started out with French, and then us Haitians, we always have to dwindle down to Creole. All right, le corps de la femme est précieuse mais pas celui de toutes les femmes. The body of the woman is precious, but not that of all women. So he's already letting you know. So supposedly he's sending a subliminal message to his wife, but at the same time, you have to see where it boils down to. The part where D Mongo and IamMarwa were putting down black women or women in general for not marrying with their danger age situation here. Okay, so this man continues. Oui ou belle. This is not now. The French is over. Oui ou belle. Jeunesse ou flamboyant. Yes, you are beautiful. Your youth is like fire, right? Et pour ou c'est univers, and for you, you are the universe. Gen de lè ou chaud ou pon kouri ou pa gen kote pou mette kol. Sometimes you are so hot. You start running, you don't know what to do with yourself. Sort of like Miss Trudy, who just doesn't know what to do with herself. She loves everybody. She was telling him, I love you, I love you. This is like, I guess, this is what he's saying. But let's keep reading. Ou senti ou puissant tan kou pa gen moun sou la terre ki ka kembe ou. You feel powerful like nobody in the world can catch you. Ou senti c'est ou qui vedette. Ou pa réfléchi du tout. Ou pa koute personne. Ou pense ou c'est reine. Et puis, bio ou tombe nan yon kafou. Kafou sa ou ka regret tout. So he continued to talk about how great that woman felt about herself, like she's queen, like she's powerful and nobody can stop her. And then all of a sudden, because she feels young, like, whatever, free, right? So all of a sudden she falls in a road that she can regret. And this is where he attacks us women who are honorable, okay? And he is now putting us in the category of a woman who is, I don't know if to say promiscuous or who loves bombashery, okay? So here we go. Malgré tout ça, ou tande de yo a, yon jeune femme qui vierge, c'est yon reine. Yon jeune femme qui kembe kol malgré li pa vierge, qui vle di, qui gen yon mari ou yon ménage, c'est yon reine. So now he's saying that a virgin woman is a queen, and one who has a husband or a boyfriend is also a queen. Okay? But listen to this. Tout nèg gen respect pour, all men respect you. All right, so now this is where we start questioning, okay? Where he says all men respect you. Because we have to realize that there are certain women, it doesn't matter their status. It's just by color and by hair that the Haitian men do not respect them. And he biasly ignores that. So he continues. Men depi ou depase le bon, si vide yo pati an timon, pon la ri, si ou gen mari wap mache kouche pasi pa la, si ou gen menaj wap mache kouche pasi pa la, kareman ou vin pa moun. Ou pa represente anye encore. So he is saying that if you become promiscuous and you're just like sleeping around, you're no longer human. You don't represent anything. And this is actually the reality of the black woman who is not sleeping around. Okay? This is the actual reality of many dark-skinned women in Haiti, that he is here comparing us, our fate, to that of a promiscuous woman. Si ou gen yon moun ou pa ka vive avec li, ou gen yon e yon sel lot ki pa nan kay ak ou, la kek moun ap kompran nou. Apre sa, ou se yon vie bagay, yon reje pour société. So he's saying that so it sounds good. Great advice to give to women. Like, oh, you're not supposed to be promiscuous. You're supposed to have one man. But then he is telling this woman who may be promiscuous and not having one guy or two, who has many more than one or two, okay, that she is a nobody for the society, a reject for the society. I am not promiscuous. I am a reject to the Haitian community. So he is telling me that I must be promiscuous in order for me to have been a reject to the Haitian community. You see what I'm saying? And then somebody's like, oh, you're too sensitive. Let's continue reading. Moun ki bo kote yo, le yo pa bo kote, yo se de yo yap pale. So people who are next to you might be talking well about you, and behind you they're talking badly about you. Okay? Me, this is the guy I told you I found him on Facebook, who was going through the problems because of his color, and he didn't even know that. But I knew it because, remember, I was listening to my mother to come to know people who should never have known me because they are colorists, okay? And I knew that they were talking behind my back because they came to know me, because it is I would say, like a system that they use. A system or a formula. Perfect. It's a formula. You are a woman. You are very respectful. You are respected in the community within you are raised. And then they come to your house to meet you so that they can know exactly what mannerism in which to destroy you, and so they can talk badly about you. For example, for me, what did they do? They lied and pretended as if they liked me, right? Even though I was telling my mother these people don't like me. But, my mother was like, oh, no. They were negating my logic. So they would negate my logic. They controlled me through the phone. So when I went to work or to school, they were calling my mother, telling my mother that I was out late. And school, but anyway, these people, because why were they doing that? Because I was gonna be successful. I was gonna be great. Okay? So in order for them to destroy me, okay, they had to destroy the things that were making me successful, and that was my going to school. And then, of course, my strength in my mind. So because when they started doing what they were doing, I would hear them. And I'm not like paranoid or anything like that. I would literally hear them. I would call my mother, and my mother would tell me, oh, we were just talking about you. So I basically, it was telepathy. So people who may say that they are telepathic, I guess they're telepathic, serendipity. Okay? So I learned to train. I trained myself to deal with and if you want to think the spirituality of the Haitian culture. Okay, so I had to train myself. So one of the ways that I trained myself is I started doing what is called open journals on Facebook. So by doing open journals on Facebook, whenever I heard them talking about it, I would post it. And it was funny because I had already found this guy because I was doing my research, and this guy would give me reactions shocked that I would say something like that, as if maybe it was happening. So the reality that he is saying to this woman really hits home, and it shows you the racism or the colorism and the effects that it has on us blacks in Haiti who do respect ourselves. Yes, we do not have to be married to get respect, because you know what? If we cannot find a man to love us for our blackness and for our self-respect, we don't need that in our lives. And because you know what? We are strong, and we are good, and we are successful, and we are powerful to be able to stand up to a system that is abusive. And the system is not abusive to you directly, because it's not like somebody's in your house beating you up, giving you blacks and blues for you to go and call the cops on them and put them in jail. It is a social abuse. They abuse you socially that you look crazy if you were to tell them that. Okay? So these people who come here and tell me, oh, let Rocio Mara love his Rocio or whatnot. IamMarwa is socially abusing Dimongo. Dimongo may not know it now, but as a woman who has experienced what something similar of what she is going to, I know it. And I will speak it, even if she may not. You know what? When we are young, there's a lot of things we don't want to hear people say about us. I remember I was in the military and they were gonna send me to war. And I was in college because I was in the reserves. So I went to the dean of the school because I loved that school. That school was like, everybody knew everybody. So the teachers knew us and everything. So I went to the dean, and the dean told me, like it's almost like I was expecting her to give me my leave of absence because I was very serious about going to war. Because when I was young, I thought, hey, might as well as learn to fight, because they were always preaching Armageddon. Remember our preacher, IamMarwa, our now pastor, because he has his little mulatto baby praying every day. Praying every day. Now he can tell you of what's wrong and right. IamMarwa once was one who frequented what is it that they call them, clubs where women were stripping. IamMarwa who did not mind raping 18-year-old girls in the name of do they love him, okay? Who got kicked out of Ivan's house because of an 18-year-old girl, almost was jailed for it. That same IamMarwa is now a preacher. Call me a hater if you will. So anyways. So, oh my God. So anyway, this man who is not a woman, sending out messages to women. He actually sounds like my mother. My mother is among the Grimels, by the way, who in her generation, like my father's family was just so happy to have a Grimel in their family. The same with the situation with IamMarwa. So he sounds like my mother. So, and these people can never, ever, ever understand the struggle, and you don't even try to. You don't try to teach them the struggle. If they want to learn, they're welcome to learn. If they don't, you just go on with your struggle and you find where your strength is with our struggle. So this man could not even understand why I got angry, Oh, and by the way, so now you remember the whole thing with power and everything. So when I responded by another name, because I didn't respond by my name for many reasons, I have many accounts. So when I responded, I had him in all of the accounts as I studied these people. So he was like, oh, we've known each other for so long, and if you remember me very well, you wouldn't have said those things that you said. So I'm like, so this guy is expecting me to use my knowledge of his title and who he is in the Haitian community not to speak. Not to speak and tell him that his writing was very biased. I don't like, he could be hurting, but why is it that I cannot take up for his hate? I can't take up for his hate because when he left the Dominican Republic with his title that the Haitians were going to worship him with, okay, to the point they gave him even, government position, he should have chosen a black girl, had himself a black family. And I know it's none of my business. He can love anybody he wants to. But the problem is he chose a girl who could have been his child, an 18-year-old. Okay? So that I have a problem with. I seriously have a problem with that. He could have chosen, if he wanted like a light-skinned woman, he could have chosen a woman from his generation. But apparently he wanted, it's almost like he was using an 18-year-old child as an example of us women not knowing or caring about the trials of women, okay, to do that. And whatever the girl did to him, I don't feel bad for him. He should have known better. First of all, why are you gonna take an 18-year-old? It's like the other day I heard not the other day, today I heard Black Beauty talking about some man who's, how could you be a man to rape and kill a 9-year-old? You're a monster. You are a monster. I mean, you can't even call yourself a man. Like, something like that. Well, it's the same thing for these men who go and they take these young girls. Okay, either a black girl, because a lot of times they will come for us when we're young so that they can put down another black woman. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I know that. Okay, and the thing is, like, many of us will not. I mean, me, I would always want somebody in my generation. I'm not gonna get somebody who's older than me. Okay, so when they did, I would always rebel, and some of them might say, yeah, I'm paying right now for my rebellion. But no, I'm not gonna be bought as a slave. I am not gonna be bought by my age. Okay, because I see people having normal relationships, friendships. Okay, so I deserve the same. So why is it about me that I cannot have the same? So for you to relate your treatment of black women to how, like, to that of a prostitute or a promiscuous woman is wrong. And then you have the audacity to think that you're gonna use your name or your title to subdue me to thinking, oh yes, master. Yes, master. Oh my god, I'm so scared. I just confronted the great sire. No, we have to be able to be strong enough to challenge them. And this is one of the things that we are able to challenge those who do not have social power. Like me, I don't have social power. So many people just come on here just for the fun of it to challenge me as I speak against colorism. Like this one person that I started talking about, thank you, Remy. Remy was the one who challenged them right back, okay? Had the audacity to tell me that they were not white. Okay, so here we go. Let me react to this one. Wow, it doesn't mean when Myra doesn't like a particular woman that he doesn't like black women. Well, I cannot say that Myra did not date a black girl. Okay, at the very beginning of his filming, if you go back, Myra did date a black Kenyan girl, and I had a serious problem with the girl's attitude. But the problem is, you cannot take that one girl's attitude and then say this is all girls' attitudes and this is how. I mean, because IamMarwa dated a lot of whites, and he continued dating white. So just because you put one Kenyan girl who had an attitude because she thought she was she was invincible and she was so proper and perfect and everything. I saw that date. That was like, oh my God. I don't remember where they went. Like they went to the safari or something. It was that event that Miss Trudy is always talking about. If anybody remembers the event right now, I'm just going senile, guys. That they always go to that event. Miss Trudy had gone. Once she went with her dad, she went with Wodamaya, and she also went with Malika from Kenya. So anyway, he was on one of those events with the girl, and the girl was acting wrong, and she was a dark-skinned black girl, very pretty girl, but unfortunately she had the wrong attitude. But that is not all Kenyan girls. That is not all Kenyan girls. So nonetheless, his whatever, he says that it's not that he doesn't like black women. She, okay. And this person goes on to say, D doesn't want to show her boyfriend because of the haters. That's not true. D, first of all, somebody did come out and say D is profiting of not showing her boyfriend. And the reality is that is not D's boyfriend. That is a for-hire guy, obviously. D is not yet in love, okay? D had hopes of love with Atita. That was, or maybe that was just a fake altogether anyway, because there's no way, obviously, everything that happened, right? But D is not in love. It's all fake, okay? And Winnie, the older sister, her husband doesn't want to come on camera. Well, we never know that. Until I hear it, I don't believe it because, even Congrats Mom has come on camera. Okay. And then she goes to say, you need to be fair and not just say something. I am very fair. Well, I'm not fair. Depending on in what pun you want to use the word fair. Okay. So, and you should not insult Winnie, her shop. Okay. So I should not insult Winnie, her shop. BTW. I don't know what that means. Anybody who knows these little acronyms, help me out. I'm thinking besides anyway, there are a lot of white and black young girls wearing extensions. It's for young women and girls all over the world. Oh, do you guys hear the bias? Young. In other words, I am old. Ageism. So this is why I don't like wigs or fake extensions, because I am old. Well, even when I was young, I did not like wigs and fake extension because you guys used it to put down my hair. So I have the right to talk about it. I have the right to talk about fake hair because fake hair was used against me, young or old. Okay? All right? And then this person goes to tell me, okay, you talk about racism. First of all, I talk about colorism. All right, colorism, which is a form of racism. So anyway, this person doesn't know the word colorism. But all I hear sound very racist. First of all, they never said what they heard that was sounding very racist. So if my talking against fake hair that we black women are being forced to wear because of hate for our black hair, explain to me how this is racism. If it is not teaching self-love, teaching you to love your hair like it is, not calling my hair all kinds of names because it is not fake. How is that racism? I think racism is trying to cajole my fellow black women to wear fake hair so that you can come and turn against and use that against me. Just like the black men who are using their white, mulatto, Spanish, Dominican, Grimel women against us. Okay, they are using that. So you trying to use your fake hair against us. So you did the age one, and now you're doing the fake hair. I have a right to talk about fake hair because that was a weapon of oppression against my hair. And my hair is my weapon. So you come with your weapon of oppression of your horse hair, whatever you make your hair with. I have a right to talk about it. I have a right to talk about it because I don't want to wear your wigs. All right, that y'all be trying, that all through my life y'all try to make me wear. I don't want to wear them. I don't want to wear them. So just because I said that it was in Winnie's shop, okay, because these are the shops of oppression for me. These are the shops that oppress my hair. So I have the right to talk about. So you coming to talk about what I am fighting against my natural traits, my ethnicity, and you call that racism? So what are you doing? You're doing like what they call reverse psychology, because you know what? It is the reverse psychology that the Europeans used against us in the first place. You know, the same reverse psychology now they might be using on Taore, okay, so that they can bring him down. I mean, I guess they couldn't do what they wanted to do with Jovenel Moïse, so they killed him. So hello. So I have the right to talk about the fake hair that is being pushed on me. So if they come and push drugs on me, you don't think I'm going to come out and say something? And then you're going to say, oh, why are you talking about drugs? All of the young people do it. All right. So you're pushing my young people, my young black Africans to wear that fake hair. That fake hair, making so many people who are not black profits. All right, these hair are being sold in Asia, in Brazil, other places where racism exists against us black. The same Asia where I hear so many Chinese people being put in jail in Kenya for abusing black Kenyans. These are the places that are profiting off of those fake hair that you're making us hate our hair for. Anyway, this person continues and says that BTW again, help me out. No one ever said they don't like her hair. So apparently this person doesn't know what we black women go through. And why isn't Dee wearing her little her hair the way she used to wear them anymore? All right, she never wears her hair out the way she did like one time with Kino in Jamaica. She never does. So there must be somebody telling her that it's not right, okay? And why she stopped wearing her hair that way and is wearing those big old, in the heat of Kenya. Oh no, they said Kenya's cool. So maybe that's why she can wear them, because those things keep are itchy, and they in the heat they really bother you. Okay, so she really was representing when she wore her own hair, and I appreciated that too, because that helped me. That helped me be have pride in my hair, that she was able to wear it and still be successful. Anyways, so the only one said it was those haters channels on YouTube, which are, for your information, all black. Hello? What is colorism? Colorism is blacks hating on blacks. That's why this channel is called Claudine Etienne Against Colorism. So I was pushing D to not follow against colorism or featureism. Okay, so now you're telling me that I'm not supposed to be preaching. I mean, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting the struggle of colorism, are you? Are you? You're trying to twist it. It's almost like whenever you talk about colorism to a white person, well, this is why I love the word colorism, because it helps. Whenever I used back in the days before the word colorism came out, I learned about colorism, guys, because of some Spanish person who had a workshop at FIU. I gave you guys that story again already, and who was talking about the races in South America. The problem with it, all right, how it was so bad that every color has a name, and I was like, oh my god, that's the same as Haiti. So then I started doing research, and that's when I came up with colorism. Okay, so that's my whole story of colorism. And when I first wrote about it and people didn't know about it, I was telling them that, and somehow somebody caught on and identified it as their own. Okay, so anyway, this is what colorism is about, because when you are among white people and you're telling your own people, your own black people, okay, not to be racist, white people suddenly think that you're talking to them. All right, I have a right to talk to my own race. It's like Trump, Donald Trump, okay? Now that he has power again, he feels as if it is his right to tell the Europeans to unite. And I feel, as a black woman, I don't have power, all right? But as I can sit here and talk now for over an hour, it is my right to tell my people, all right, to stop the colorism. And yes, IamMarwa is practicing colorism, okay? Whether he likes Rocio or whether that was his way in order to brush it in our faces, and we're not jealous. I'm sorry, IamMarwa is not that much of a handsome guy. I've seen handsome black men, and unfortunately, most of them are indeed colorist, because most of their wives are probably white. But I've seen handsome black men, and IamMarwa is not one of them. I'm talking about smooth, dark skin. Woo! Okay, so there's no jealousy here. Okay, no jealousy. All right, there's none of that. Now let's continue. I'm sorry. And don't you dare talk about baby Maisha. So this is it. You guys are now using the baby, because that's the whole thing, to shut me up. You're using a baby, an innocent baby. How dare you use babies to enslave and subordinate black people, particularly black women, because we're all women, okay, who are doing this now, okay? You're using a baby, okay, to enslave us. You're using a baby to put us in shackles, to stop us from talking about the problem here, okay? And those babies, okay, in Haiti are the same ones who are oppressing my people as adults because they were taught to be superior. So baby Maisha is a product of his society. So if you show him that he is better than his little cousins who were already born, okay? You show him that I cannot dare talk about him, and yet you guys can hide the little blacks as if they're nobodies, like the guy who was saying here in the one that I said about being a nobody, just like they treat us blacks, okay? How dare you? Because later you tell me that you're white. It's either this person or somebody else who tells me that they are white. Okay? Use a baby to shut up women who are talking for their rights. Okay? And then this person comes and say, you nasty person, you nasty racist or colorist, whatever you may be. Okay? This is the scorn. This person has shown scorn for women who are talking for their rights as black women. And then it continues, I've never been a racist, but I know one when I see one. So they are turning the table. After all that you have said here, and you are telling me that you're not a racist, you're pushing fake hair on black women, and you're telling me that you're not a racist. Okay? You are using a mixed baby to now shut me up from reaction, or from not just from reaction, actually from talking about colorism in my community, and you're telling me that you're not a racist. You're using the very weapons that Europeans use against us, and you're telling me that you're not a racist. Huh. And then you reverse the table. This is the code. You're using code here. Okay? And lady, you feel yourself superior. Very disappointed in you. When did I ever tell you that I was superior? And what would make you even think that I am superior? I am your equal, and I am fighting for those who feel that they are superior to me. And I don't ever remember telling you that I am superior. In fact, in the video that you are recording, I told you I'm a slave. So I don't know where you're coming from, unless you're the one who's feeling superior. Because you started reversing the psychology on me anyway. So you're continuing with the same reverse psychology here. All right? So, you very disappointed in you. Disappointed in me. I never appointed you. You should be disappointed in people who appoint you. I am a freedom fighter. If you want to know who I am a freedom fighter. I am one who is living in oppression. I may have a job, but but let me tell you something. Do you know people will use your job in order to create the codes? When these people came into my house, they knew my profession, okay? So that they could know what codes to use against me, so that I would not be a normal human being. So I wouldn't have, like so many people have their families, but I wasn't allowed one, okay? And they would use my job, okay? They would use babies, okay? They know the codes, and I'm telling you the codes. So if you have a problem with my telling you the codes, I'm sorry for you, okay? I'm sorry for you, but those who have ears to listen, let them hear the codes of colorism. The codes. They will come to your houses, pretend like they're your friends, so they could know exactly what codes to use to inhibit you from fighting for freedom when they have enslaved you, to destroy your life so you can die a slave. So you can die a slave. Okay? So, how can you die a slave? If you are working for nobody, but just for food and water, you are not free. And the reason why I know the difference is because I knew what freedom was. When I was a child in Haiti, I was free. When I ran among the cornfields, knowing love, knowing family, having a home to go to, having people to laugh with, I was free. Freedom is not having money. Freedom is not having big houses and mansions. Freedom is having your family. Freedom is having love. Freedom is feeling welcome, having people to break bread with. And not just anybody, but people who love you for who you are. People who know you to the point where they even know what you're going to say next. A person who is shocked at what you say next to the point of being disappointed does not know you. That kind of person is not your family and may not want to be your family. All right, I know what family is, okay? Because when I did have family before the divide and conquer codes came in, such codes as when you have an education, you're not allowed to do X, Y, Z. Or they would use that to come and pretend as if they did not have XYZ so that you can come and help them so that they can subordinate you before another woman for color or for hair, as you may not know, or trying to deny or to make me deny. Okay. Before that, okay, when I was among family, they knew my thoughts and they laughed with me. And I was amazed because they were protective in that sense, okay, where they may do something that would make you angry, and they would know exactly what to do to stop, or to make you feel bad, or they would know exactly. I knew that protection, and this is why I can stand here and fight for it. If I didn't know it, I probably wouldn't be able to fight. But I knew what freedom was, and I also know what it is not. And I also know the codes that cost freedom. So Haiti is not free. We are not free. If a Haitian cannot go back into her country, you know, to be able to invest in her country, to be able to run the fields of her country again, I am not free. America taught me diversity, but a lot of people has used that because I know, I'm not gonna lie, I profited off of the diversity because I was able to get an education and to get a job so that I'm not on the streets because of that diversity. But a lot of people use the diversity also to destroy me. They can use the diversity to tell me, why is it that you are talking about this mixture, okay, when the mixture may be a weapon that is being used against me. Okay, you're supposed to embrace diversity. I do embrace diversity, but do not use diversity to destroy me. Do not use diversity to prevent me from talking about the problems within my community. So let's continue. You don't want racism to disappear because you want to be a victim. Who wants to be a victim? So you are using these words, you don't even know what you're saying. And you do show that later on because you realize that I have sisters in here, right? You don't even know what you're saying. That word victim is one of those key words that American communities use to try to make people feel like they are in the wrong, to try to use psychology against people, okay? I never mentioned victim in the video that you criticized, even if I mentioned it before. But nonetheless, we're all victims of something. Okay? If you so just and nobody wants to be a victim. Because if you wanted to be a victim, you wouldn't be fighting for it, against it. Okay? Those people who want to be a victim stay in the victim or search for the victimhood. Okay? Those who fight for fight against being a victim or not victim searchers. So get your facts straight. And then you continue and say, I get that you've been through racism, but that's not a justification of doing the same. And this person has never quite explained themselves. I want you to define racism to give me the example of what you call racism. Okay? And this person actually never used the term colorism. Never used the term colorism. All right? And then he says, then you are no better. I never said I was better than anybody. I am just talking against your system. okay, against your system. You can go in circles and circles and circles, but the system that I'm talking about, it exists. So let me not undermine my friend Remy, my sister, my family Remy, who comes and says, Mara and Dee have continuously expressed their distaste towards their own people and country. I said all this. Remy put it so well. Go rewatch their upload. So do I don't, just go and read what Remy has to say. Remy is just amazing. I mean, this is my sister here. This is my warrior sister here. Okay? My warrior sister. Well, don't blame you if you only have lived in your own country. Then it's difficult to awaken to the true state of the treatment of blacks around, even mulattoes. Blacks, when you know the continent. All right. And I hear there is colorism in Africa. I've never been to Africa. All right. I only talk about colorism in Haiti, which is outside of the US. All right. I don't usually touch on the US colorism because many people may come and tell me it's none of my business because I'm not really within the culture, the American culture, or having the Black American, the African American experience. Okay. So I talk about colorism in Haiti. I give you examples from Haiti. Okay. Like that one man who had an issue with his female wife, and then he was using what they did to me, what his friend, okay, did to me, okay, to make it look as if people like me are promiscuous when their women go sour on them. So anyways, let's continue. This is the same, the person finally comes out after being responded to by my sister, responds and says, I am white. Need I say more? This was the mentality, and this is why I had to do this reaction. Guys, this is the weapons they use against us. And you have to realize, as I said, they reward. Okay, the colonists rewarded those who were buying us and selling us into slavery. They gave them money, they gave them wives, they gave them babies, and then we were being attacked if we revolted against that. We were being murdered if we helped each other. And this is what's happening. Here we are helping one another come out of the system. And this person who eventually says that they are white, okay, has the audacity to come and tell me that I'm racist for fighting for my freedom. Anyway, next sentence says, I do not say there are no racist people, but you have that from all sides. Here you have Turkish and can't stand Moroccans, etc. So this person goes on and on because Remy had responded, okay? But as a white person, you're the reason for our problem in the first place, right? You want me to come back and blame it on you? I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming my own people. It's like they say, you take care of the problem of the log in your eye before you go to the next person, right? I don't go to the white people and try to remove their logs, okay? I respect them for who they are. And that doesn't make me racist either. But I am going to turn against my own people who are selling us over to you, or who are selling themselves over to you. And you come and call me a racist. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, I have talked a lot. This one was too much in my last video, guys. Your welcoming was awesome. I love you guys. You are my family. My family. My true family, thank you for coming to my abode. If you have stayed this far and listened to me with my own reaction against my keyboard reactors and with my keyboard warrior reactors, I thank you. God bless you and have a great day. Before we leave, let's just pray. We pray for Ibrahim Taore. You see, I remember the name when I had to pray for him. We pray for Ibrahim Taore. God, let him not succumb or fall to any any trap that they set out for him. You see, they can unite to come up, devise ways to entice our leaders. Why can't we unite to find ways to make our leaders strong so that we do not fall again? Taore, he's the present and the possible future for hope. His wife is black. I saw his wife. He has a black wife. He's not a sell-off. Let us pray for him. Let us all pray for him. IamMarwa, the seller of blacks, okay, selling his sister off, is praying. We too have to pray for Ibrahim Taore. Thank you again and have a good day.